What is compensation? As for compensation cess. See, yesterday we were talking about the GS. Constitution 101 Amendment Act. In that, there is a provision which says that Government of India will impose cess and collect money. Yes. And with that money, you will compensate the states in case they fall below. I told you base year of 1516, every 14% guarantee, and in case you fall below that, you will be compensated. This money, which is assessed on the highest GST rate of 28%, is specifically meant for that purpose. So far you have seen all the cesses are imposed, collected and appropriated completely by the sector. Article 271 says that cesses and surcharges are not to be, means the government of India need not share. I already told you a long time back that if you start sharing, that will perpetuate the interest in not discontinuing with the cess, and therefore it is ad hoc, temporary, and so you can't share it. But here, the purpose of cess is different. It is for compensation. Somebody questioned in the Supreme Court, can cess be used for this purpose? Why not? Residuary power is with the Union Parliament. Invoke that power and do what you like. So you impose a cess specifically meant for compensating the states. Yeah. One, cess has to be temporary, and we have seen cesses going on and on and on. Point number one. Point number two is it has a problem because you will be profligate with the collections of taxes, wasteful, because you always have money coming from cesses as well, and it is a deterrent to fiscal prudence, discipline, and so on. Because the channel of cess, when it is available without any limits, as it has been, it can set off, the wastefulness and a lack of prudence, etc. At any rate, Kelkar committee said, Kelkar, not committee, Kelkar commission, the finance commission, 13th finance commission, they said, it's okay, you are going on and on with cesses, in which case you start sharing it. The idea of not sharing is because you are expected to keep it as temporary. And now that it is almost permanently temporary, start sharing. Yes. But then who will share? Everyone loves good bit of money. Yes. So the government has not shared. They haven't accepted. Remember, the recommendations of the Finance Commission are only advisory. Conventionally, they are accepted, and therefore you pick and choose what to take from the Finance Commission recommendations. I was waiting for our friend in his come. His doubt yesterday, double taxation. Neither he was happy nor I was happy, and today both of us will be happy. You know how? His question was, 100 rupees is the face value, the value at which he bought. It became 110, and on the book profit he paid MAT, and it became 120, and will you collect tax, book profit based tax on 20 or 10? If it is 10, there is no double taxation. If it's 20, there is. On 10 you collect. Yeah, so I can see him, in sort of relief. Yes. So, anything else? Our friend? Yeah, no question. Anyone else with anything else? Yeah. Yes.
From the implementation of GST, there is always gap between projections and actual collection. So we can say that it is failure of the previous
It's not because of the GST per se. It is because the economy has slowed down dramatically. A projection of 8 has become a projection of 5 for the same fiscal year in a gap of about say 6-7 months. And the tax buoyancy can be impacted upon when the growth is like this. Therefore, per se, GST cannot be criticized. You could criticize implementation, refunds, MSMEs being particularly hit hard, GST and crashing, all that. But you can't say GST is structurally flawed, and that explains why the collections have been dipping below the target. Though marginally. 1 lakh is your target, 1 lakh crores every month, and you got 995. At times you exceeded 1 lakh. So these bits of ups and downs are part of the game. Is it structural? Is it here to stay? Will you go from 95 to 90 to 85? That could be a bit worrying, but there is a committee going into what can be done to ensure GST works well. Anyone else? Yeah, somewhere a hand, yes.
Sir, if the book value appreciates from 100 to 120, we
See, again you are wearing the hat of the accountant, please. You are a CA. You are not a CA, I'm not a CA. The exam is not about accountancy, and then you are on a highway with this. Yeah, so you can go ahead, but it's of no use. If you are already straying, stop somewhere. Yeah, instead you talk of what can come in the exam. One of the problems with GST is not the following, our friend. Another friend, compensation. Is compensation constitutionally guaranteed? Statutorily guaranteed? Both need us. It's both. A constitutional provision triggered a legislation in Parliament, and that's the basis for your claim that you must be compensated. So ask such questions. Don't get curiosity driven. In which case we should be reading Mario Puzo. Yes, Godfather. So stop. This exam is a boundary exam. Please. A lot of people are there, they're interested in something and get carried away with that. Brilliant people. Don't know where to start, where to stop. So my advice to you is use your time well. Just because I have answered you doesn't mean that your question is right. Yes. So, boundary. When in doubt, boundary. Yeah. Anyone else? Oh, yes. Yeah, please go ahead. You feel slightly apologetic, please. I want questions. Yeah, go ahead.
What is security transaction tax?
Securities transaction tax. See, people buy stocks. All those financial products on the stock market. When they do, they have to pay a small bit of tax. When they sell, they have to pay the same amount of tax based on the value of course. Yes? Why? So you buy a security on the stock market, pay that STT. When you're selling, pay that STT. Why? Surely the government wants to collect some money from financial transactions, number one. More importantly, you should be encouraged to invest rather than speculate. If you are buying and selling with great frequency, the tax outgo will be prohibitive. And therefore, with a lot of discretion, you buy, keep, and then sell, make a lot of profit, it doesn't hurt you. You pay a little bit, you are pushing it into the government's pockets. You are fine, government is fine, we are all fine. So basically to check speculation, yes, financial transaction tax, you would broadly call it. STT is what we call it in India. Yeah, anything else? You had all the leaves in your hands and you must have studied, I can make out. So in case you have, yeah, please, yeah, yes, you're laughing, so you maybe. So, you know, GST we had done. You know, you'll be wondering why, I bought an input. I paid 10 rupees of tax. I sold the output. I collected 15. Yeah. So today I pay 5 rupees of tax because 15 minus 10. Earlier pre-GST, I was paying 10, he was paying to the government. I collected 15, I paid to the government. Government would get so much more. Now you are paying only 5. How is it compensated? Don't you think GST is a losing proposition? No. Earlier, I was not paying the tax at all because there was no transparency. She was not also paying to me, while her 15 and my 10 should have gone to the government. Nothing was going to the government because people were buying without any receipts and acknowledgement. Today I will ask him for receipt because the 10 I paid is subtracted from the 15 I collected, I pay only 5. There will be a huge buoyancy in compliance, point number 1. Point number 2, of course, is the reset in the rate. You have 5 and 12, 18, 28 and all that. So the reset also collects more. Number 1, the simplicity and the rationality will also bring in investment and buoy up the growth and will produce more tax collection. Number 2, compliance itself will be a huge bonus. Number 3, and the transparency of imposing and collecting tax only where there is a point of value addition will also ensure that there is no evasion. All this for go to more than compensate what little you were losing by switching to value rates. That's how you have to reason. Then you will, our friend will come back again. If all that is valid, how is it that you are dipping below your target? That's growth. That's not the. You could always redesign better, take people into confidence, and so on. You're doing it. There's a company going into it. But the dip is because of the growth going down, not because of GST. When the economy is going up, I would love to comply because there is so much of prospect for my, business. Economy is going down. Why is it going down? We all don't expect me to repeat. Yeah, we are standing witnesses, living witnesses. Now, many tax reforms were done. We all know what's been done. Earlier there used to be many slabs, now you got the slabs. At least, I can't say that with confidence because GST is 0, 5, 12, 18, 28 and cess. So with GST all around, if I say the number of slabs has been cut, then you will think I'm a fossil. Yes? But then what do you do? We have to say this. And there is this commitment on the part of the government that they will bundle almost everything into 18 and of course a few into 12 and 5 also. And they'll standardize 18 or something, maybe 12, and they'll simplify. For the time being, we can say the reforms are headed towards rationalization of slabs, rationalization of rates, simplification, electronic interface, and all that. I told you GARS, GWR, rules are made, the DAA, gaps are filled, corporate tax rates have come down for, greater investment, etc. And then you have other reforms like broadening the tax base. What about it? Cash withdrawal tax. You withdraw the cash and then after a level there is cash withdrawal tax also that is broadening the base. Services more and more are getting added into the tax tax base, and then all your capital gains tax are now under the base tax base, plus DTAA, rationalized, all those capital gains tax are, and transfer pricing, APA brought into the, tax base rationalized. So on and so forth. And the middle class got a bonanza all the way doubled. This is a big bonanza all the way doubled, etc. So yes, this is classical supply side economics, the corporate tax cuts. Supply side, cut the rate and drive them to invest in consume, and then that's how you expect it to boost growth. Works, doesn't work, is another story. The concept is, it is supply side economics. But when your rates were 90, they were brought down to 30 odd, that was not supply side. That was rationalization of rates. Nowadays, we are walking into the supply side. Is it relevant in India? I seriously wonder when the government has to mobilize so much of money, number one. Corporates are already sitting on lots of cash, number two. And their capacities are grossly underutilized, number three. When there's demand is shrinking, number four. This is barking up an entirely wrong tree. Where is the problem? What is the solution? Why have they done? Maybe to boost the sentiment of the economy, telling the corporates, yes, you could reinvest all that you saved, etc., etc. So that was a hangover from yesterday, yeah. Now we are going into a separate chapter altogether, which is poverty. This chapter has been in the civil services syllabus since independence. Your grandchildren, they'll also go for IAS. They will still have poverty in the syllabus. Quite shameful. Our friend, yes.
What more reforms are required to increase the tax base?
To increase the tax base, not what more, what less. Please understand. You see, already cash withdrawal tax, and you are touting it as a reform to extend the tax base. Is that a good policy? So why do you make the cash into devil? Yes, you have to pay so many people in cash. They don't have the digital medium of transaction, so you can push that as a base expansion reform. You could say that. And I hardly see anything else that could be taxed. You have taxed everything you could tax. Services, tax, all services. I can't say tax the lawyer, tax the doctor, tax the school. I can't say that. Yes? So that door is closed. And the goods, what is it that you are not taxing? Profits you are taxing, income you are taxing, transactions you are taxing, the taxing, withdrawals you are taxing. Your capital gains, you come back with that long-term capital gains. I can't see an MAT is there if you are not going the corporate tax route. So what is it that you can tax more? The job now is to collect, not to tax.
Can you give some points, different points for cashless economy challenges?
Cashless economy doesn't come now. That was a chapter on taxation. Yeah, will come. The cashless economy. You see, everybody knows all these things. Cashless economy, we will come one of these days. Now that we want to, have it discussed, we'll sort of cashless economy, digital economy. Yeah, all that we'll discuss. Yeah.
Why government is not implementing the direct taxes rules?
Our friend is asking why government is not going ahead with the code, direct access code. See, whatever reforms are necessary, the government is doing, though not consolidated as a code. MAT reform, long-term capital gains tax reform, STT reform, the fringe benefit reform, and then your corporate tax reform, income tax reform, GAR done. So what have you not done? Bunching all of them together like your labor wage code, social security code, that they will do. That's not a priority. Your question can be, why is reform not done? They are not bunching. Bunching is something else. That can be done. You're doing everything peacefully and they're not left, unaddressed. So you're doing it, so leave it there. Simplification you are doing. Rationalization. I've given you about 8-9 examples. That's all I need to see. Delete transfer. Yeah. See, poverty. It's a sad chapter. You know, the man in the headlines, Chidambaram said, when growth was good in 2004, 5, 6 and all that, he said, the way we are growing, poverty can be eradicated in one generation. That's the rate of growth. We don't know today, hopefully it will be. So what's poverty? A lot of things about poverty. Poverty, what is it? And then some terms. And then say committees. After that you come to the government approach. And you see, about a fortnight back, there was a report that was withheld by the government. Some standard newspapers got quoted. NSO consumption survey. We'll handle that also. NSO consumption survey. So what is poverty? You know, when a person has no access to certain goods and services, when he is deprived of a basket of goods and services which are essential for, his life, that is a condition of poverty. Poverty is not having access to, not being able to afford, not consuming a certain set of goods and services. Be it food, water, clothes, sanitation, education, health, shelter, electricity. It depends upon you. Where you draw the line is entirely your discretion. And if you have a luxurious interpretation of poverty, then you will have mobile also. You better have mobile, otherwise you are digitally impoverished and your life chances are very dim. So poverty is not consuming. I have the money but I'm not spending, I'm poor. Not consuming a certain set of goods and services. If I had 100 rupees, but I'm not consuming X number of calories, I will still be poor. That is why it is a consumption survey. You have to spend 100 in urban areas, according to Rangarajan. If you spend on your consumption of a given set of goods and services, 47 rupees, you are not poor. In rural areas, if you are spending on consumption of a given set 32 rupees, then you are not poor. Rural 32, urban 47 at 2011-12 prices. That is Rangarajan Committee 2014. So that is what we call poverty. You know poverty, extreme poverty is there according to World Bank. Extreme poverty is $1.9 a day. Don't spend it on consumption of the given goods and services. That will be extreme poverty. It's not $1.9 means 72 rupees a dollar purchasing power parity. It would be around 25 rupees. And so 37 and a half is extreme. Two is 50 rupees. Extreme poverty. But then you see, what is poverty is relative to the country that you are talking about. If it is, World Bank says, if it is a low income country, $3.2 a day consumption. If it is a high income country, it is 5.5, 5.4, whatever. And then for America, which is a rich country, you will have 22 rupees approximately, $22 as the cutoff to, define poverty. So it is relative to the country, their standard of living, their per capita, etc. So poverty is relative. What is absolute poverty? You define for all countries, this is poverty, this many calories, and so on and so forth. And that is the absolute poverty, irrespective of the standard of living of the country. So absolute poverty, relative poverty. Now, what is poverty line? You define poverty, draw a line, those below are poor, those above are not poor. So poverty line is the line that separates the poor from the non-poor. And flowing from this, you have, what you call head count ratio. Head count ratio. That is, what is head count? There are 100 people, and in India, maybe about how many people are poor. If you add 30 million to the poor people, as the NSO consumption survey indicates, Rangarajan said, you have about say 27-28%. You had more, you see. What is the multi-dimensional poverty index? Some dimensions taken, if you are deprived of them, you are poor. According to that, last year you were told that in India, from 550 million odd, the poverty came down to 270 million odd, which means that you halve the poverty. 270 million people were poor in the country last year. Yes, add to that another 30 by the NSO approximately. So 300 million people are below the poverty line in the country. And of that, in the urban population, 9% are poor. In the rural population, you have more poverty. You could be having about 20-odd%. On average, 300 out of 1.4 billion, that will make it approximately that. How much? 140 by 3, it will be wherever, 1/4, yeah. 1/4 will be 120. So this is 300, it's more than 1/4, approximately 30 to whatever. So that many people are poor. By a definition we'll come to a little later. So you know what is poverty? So how many people are poor? 30. What's your population? 100. So what's your the head count? How many people? 30 are poor. 100 is the population. 30% is the ratio. The number of people in the country being 30, the ratio population being 100. So 30% of the country, that is the head count ratio. You know what is the head count, that is counting the number of people below the poverty line, converting that into ratio, of course, is 100, etc. And this is, one definition of poverty, one type of approach to poverty. There is another way of looking at poverty. That's a very serious, Amartya said, these people follow that. That is called poverty gap. Poverty gap. Remember, there are 300 million people in the country who are poor. I'll go by that number. All the poor people are not equally poor. Some are very poor, some are poor, some are just about poor, because 47, I'm at 46, somebody at 45. Poverty and the most used thing, gender. G for gender. Gender this, gender that. You'll all fall for gender because that is the headline. But it is about poverty. Poverty. So, Foster-Greer Tobeck tell you the intensity of poverty. Intensity of poverty. So you know head count, you know the gap, you know relative, you know absolute, you know these are the terms that you know. If I could run through all the committees for you, so many committees to perpetuate poverty. Yes. You know when was the first committee formed? 1979 till then you did not know how to define poverty, let alone wanting to eradicate it. Even today we use the word alleviate. No one tells you eradicate. So let the poor guy have one more morsel. Don't dream of the poor guy becoming rich. Yeah? Not every Chaiwala is a prime minister, please. So, who are these committees? YK Alag Committee, 1979. Lakda Bala Committee, 1993. After that again, you went into Kumbhakarna. 2005, you had the Tendulkar. And around that time, you had UPA 1. You had Arjun Sen Gupta on unorganized enterprises. Around the same time, you had, NC Saxena rural poverty, Hashim urban poverty, Pranab Sen definition of slums, and finally, no sector of the economy is complete without Rangarajan having his last word. So, Rangarajan coming. See Rangarajan, the ultimate economist in the country. You know the definition, the picture of an economist, caution, etc. And lot of knowledge, evidence, everything that you think the economist should comply with. So, his committee 2012. These are the committees. Niti Aayog hardly went into it. Actually, Niti Aayog set up a committee to find out about poverty and all that. After a while, they reported that we have to do something about poverty, and there is no agreement among us about the definition of poverty. We suggest to set up another committee. That is the Niti Aayog. But they are doing a lot on sanitation, education, school quality, logistics, so many things. They are doing so much for poverty eradication. But that's not going under aspirational districts. That is the surgical strike on poverty. Remember, there are some states like BMARU, that was a very bad acronym, BMARU, merely it sounds well. What will the people of the states feel? So now they are called Empowered Action Group states. And some more states are added. In all of them, social indicators are lagging. And there are so many programs. You have to have a convergence of the programs. And you have to take hands-on interest, almost Jan Andolan, and on a continuous basis assess how much of improvement is made in schools, hospitals, maternal mortality, child mortality, malnutrition, sanitation. In all these indicators, you have a dashboard also. This is also known as competitive federalism, whereby the states and the districts compete. Even at the micro level, the district level also there is competition that next year your indicators should be far more, acceptable and so on. Now, so I told you the committees also. So what is the task about, how do you go about eradicating poverty? How do you go about it? See, first you have to define poverty. I told you the committees. Let me go into the definitions. It is a fairly shameful definition we had initially. You know what's the definition? Only by calories. If a person per day in an urban area consume 2,100 calories, he is not poor. Rural area, 2,400 calories, he is not poor. Let it be deep winter, let it be bad summer, he doesn't have water. Water has no calories. He doesn't have clothes, he has nothing. So what's the proof? He's not poor. See, he's moving. He's not poor. So what was otherwise debt, we called it non-poverty. That was the skimpiest definition of poverty you could ever be content with. And that definition stayed for a long, long while. Even Lakadawala committee went along with it. Then see basically, when is it that you will think of eradicating, before that alleviating poverty? Only when you can do it. When can you do it? Only when the fiscal resources allow you. When will that take place? Only when there is growth. Growth is there, fiscal buoyancy is there, lots and lots of cash for the government, and they can splurge it on welfare. When did Narendra come? 2005, the law came. 2006, the program got kicked in. And when did your right to education come? 2009. You amended the constitution in 2002. But then you did not operationalize, you started doing it only in 2009 because by then you had the fiscal capacity and you should also build up the state capacity. Capacity to implement. Capacity to implement, that is the state resources, state capacity, administrative, institutional and so on and so forth. So what am I saying? You started getting ambitious about your definition of poverty only when you set up the Tendulkar Committee in 2005. In 2005, and Tendulkar for rural poverty, he included first time education, health and all that, goods and services. But then he reduced the weightage for calories. Those days, we are all the time confronting toxic points of view. Those days, zero size. Some people are diet conscious and size conscious. But the country is, I'm a poor man, I need to have as many calories as I can possibly. I pull a rickshaw, I push a car, I repair your vehicles. So I'm not Kareena Kapoor, am I? See, I'm not diet conscious at all. Get up at 5 in the morning, 9 I go to sleep worrying about the next day. I consume lot of calories physically and also, if I can use the word psychosomatically also, I consume lot of calories. But those days you had to somehow make up a basket in which there is everything but also in a limited quantity so that it doesn't translate to too much of a monetary value. So Tendulkar cut the quota for calories and somehow made it up and then he submitted his report in 2009. First time you had services brought into the basket. Because a lot of money we spend on education, health, transport, that's all services. But that was Tendulkar. And then you had Arjun Sen Gupta, he was a civil servant and is an outstanding person in terms of his values and a kind of passion for compassion. Yes? And so, yes.
You told that the calorie for rural was 2,400 as for
Please come again.
You told that calorie for rural was 2,400 while for urban was 2,100. Why was that key?
Why rural more,
Yeah.
urban less? The metro is not there in rural area. Metro. Yes. So, urban is white collar basically. The only labor I do is talking and answering your questions. Yes. Otherwise, it's all mind work, So, that consumes a lot of energy. Preparing for this civil services exam, I kept telling you, one Hindu editorial is 500 calories. Another editorial 100, your breakfast box. Your lunch gone on the opinion page. And whatever is left. So, you standardize, it's not that everyone is this much. There's some standard laid down, okay. But generally rural areas, you manual work, a lot of That's the, rural area there may be a pandit who are dealing with mantras. His game is different. But in general, rural area is energy intensive. Manual labor. Yeah. That's why 2004. Calories. Don't say kilocalories is giga. Calories. Kilocalories is perfect. So, then comes, I told you, Arjun Sen Gupta, Committee on Unorganized Enterprises. You know where he thinks the poverty level in the country? How many people are poor in the country? He said 77%. The most truthful man. Yeah? That's 77. And then comes NC Saxena, another outstanding civil servant, absolutely outstanding. These are the people who define India, development administration, etc. He also said, whatever approach he adopted, that's for rural poverty, there is no need for us to go into that. And for urban poverty, you had Hashi. He was a member of UPSC also and outstanding intellectual. He was saying in urban areas, he picked up 3 criteria basically: occupational, residential, and social. Occupational, what's your job? Based on that, poor, non poor. Residential, you got a house, otherwise, poor, non poor. Social, imagine there are so many families headed by a woman. It has to be considered more compassionately. And he brought in some other criteria also, caste and gender and otherwise. And this is broadly his approach to calling you poor in an urban area. He went into that. Pranab Sen Committee on Slums, I told you. And then comes Rangaraj. You know why Rangarajan came? UPA 2 saw a lot of liberalism. Somebody went to the Supreme Court. Sir, the poverty line is drawn at 27 rupees in rural area, 33 rupees in urban area, sir. With that, do you seriously believe that a man is non-poor? And that was a scandal. And at that time, remember, Rangarajan got set up in 12. Those days, inflation was inhuman inflation. Inhuman inflation was there. And the government would not give a damn about it because they'll never come back to power again. You see, that was the first time I felt the government's level of indifference is, sort of insufferable indifference. And so the courts fumed at the government and the planning commission, and Rangarajan committee was set up to redefine poverty. He was asked basically 2-3 questions actually, in terms of reference. Now, you set up a basket of goods and services, number 1. Secondly, you see, the whole thing is, I want to be called poor because unless I am called poor, I won't have access to all these government schemes. So Rangarajan was asked, sir, should the anti-poverty schemes be confined only to those who are officially poor, or for example, take PDS, public distribution system? Poor people are there, 300 million, they get it at 3 rupees, 2 rupees, 1 rupee, rice, wheat and millets, respectively. But those who are not poor are not exactly, not poor. I bet another 300 million at least right above the poverty line. Either tomorrow they'll be poor, day after they'll be poor. Also they are pretty close to poverty. What about 48, 49, 50, 55, 65, 100? They're all poor. You have to call them poor. So Rangarajan was asked, should we confine the delivery of the anti-poverty schemes only to the formally classified poor people? These are the 2 essential things he is working with. So he gave a report. That's a very good report. Very good report. He said, not only calories, of course, transport and clothes and your footwear and your health, education, all that. Where he differed, which is very, very modern about him, is this. It's not only the calories that matter. Within calories, where do your calories come from? I told you Bennett. What did Bennett say? Within food, protein, So you see, I told you, calories are a very kind of elementary way of looking. ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research, and National Institution of Nutrition in Hyderabad, both of them laid down where your calories must come from. How much is carbohydrate, how much is protein, how much is fat, and so on. So Rangarajan said not only calories, but where they come from is equally important. On that basis, we have to define the value of consumption, monetary value. And so if I can crunch all this, I get XYZ numbers. What are the numbers? 47 rupees urban area at 11, 12 prices. And 32 rupees the rural area, 11, 12. This is what you get. And then he said, hey, you justified it. What did he say? Let the anti-poverty programs and the benefits be available to everyone. Ambani won't enjoy them, surely. And tomorrow you are a civil servant, IAS officer, will you enjoy all that? Of course not. You know you won't. There is automatic exclusion, income tax of X amount excluded. Gazetted officer, not every gazetted officer. It's not a princely salary you get. A little more than that, excluded. We know whom to exclude, we know whom to include. When you say universal, it is not universal. Ambanis won't get it, Adanis won't get it. So how is it universal? 90% also of the people are enlisted as beneficiaries. And then we have a scheme also, I give up scheme. You give up? All of you give up? Tomorrow your bureaucrats will give up. And so net it boils down to about say 75-80% of the people being entitled. So Rangarajan said, give to whoever you like. How does it matter? You told me to define, I have defined. You told me to estimate, I have estimated. After that, it's your work to target your schemes as you like it. And then he said, if you convert what I have said into World Bank terms, World Bank is what? Extreme poverty 1.9. 1.9 is say your PPP value of rupees about 25 rupees or so. Convert that to $2, 25. What he said? So he said, I'm on par with the World Bank understanding in quantitative monetary terms. The same point number this. And he made a lovely point. Your body lapidar. These are the words of this. You know what he said? Ultimately, everyone knows that where you draw the poverty line depends upon your capacity to alleviate and eradicate poverty. If I had a lot of money, I'll draw poverty line at where everyone has a mobile phone, digital connectivity, clean drinking water, unless you have gone to finest of the schools and then the finest of the roads and electricity, Saubhagya, Ujjwala, and you see, I can go on. But then does the fiscal and the state capacity in India allow that you define poverty like you are in America? How much did I say? Poverty in America, $21. Here it's upper middle class, $21 per capita per day. That's quite a bit. Consumption, remember, that's consumption. And you have more money than that. The capita is something else. The capita is about, 20 trillion by 300 million. Where does it take you? About $70,000 is the per capita, which actually is a lie. But consumption is this. Yeah. So every government would like to give you everything if only they could, and if their fiscal resources allowed you. In the meanwhile, the best is target at the really poor, call them poor. And once you handle the poor of the poor, come to the next. That's a step-by-step approach which is implied. So Rangarajan said, you see, the DTC subsidized, metro subsidized, Sarva Shiksha, free school, college subsidized, PDS subsidized. At that time you did not have this, Ayushman Bharat, Saubhagya, all that you did not have at that time. So many goods and services are provided to you either free or concessionally, and if you monetize all those freebies and say 47 rupees, let's say 35 rupees, 40 rupees, 50 rupees. So basically, drawing a line at 100 rupees in the urban areas and about 70, 80 rupees in the rural areas after the freebies are counted. Okay, to begin with, if you could achieve what he wants you to achieve, then you are on firm highway for eradication of poverty. That was Rangaraj. But all the committees related to poverty, I told you about the evolution of the definition of poverty in the country. Now I have to tell you, what does it involve to wipe out poverty? What does it involve? It involves first definition. First you define, you still could not define till yesterday what is poverty. What is the definition of poverty? Is it calories or basket or calories within calories? All that you have to define. Then you have to, tell the definition is done by Rangarajans and by the others. They do the definition. Now you have to go find out how many people are poor in the country. That NSO report, whoever has a copy of that must be the Bible to read, to go through, because that is your terrain, your domain as a prospective civil servant. The consumption survey will fill you with the kind of knowledge that will make you a, solid civil servant, enlightened civil servant, compassionate civil servant. So you find out, NSSO people will go to her, they'll ask her questions. How much did you spend? They used to ask funny questions earlier. You know what funny question? NSSO person will come to you. So, how much money did you, though it's a calorie game, how much did you spend on food yesterday? He will say, I spent X amount of rupees. Day before, why? He will ask you, what did you spend 30 days back? Then you will get mad, you will say nothing. So, the reports carry a huge number for poverty. At times people go violent also. 21 days back, what did I consume? One, the slap I'll give you. Yeah, I'm strong enough to slap you for the foolish question you're asking me. Ask the right question. You will get a wonderful right answer. He labored to give you the right answer. Most of the interviews fail, not the civil service interviews, data gathering interviews, because these guys come and irritate you with questions. So you will give a wrong answer. So when they ask you after about 7 days, 10 days or whatever, you will give the right answer because the NSSO, a volunteer, will tell you, friends, give me the right data, it goes to government, based on that the government will make a policy which is aimed at alleviating your poverty, your lives will be better. So do please have honesty in your responses, etc. So if you befriend them, they'll give the right answer. So NSSO people will go around the country, take a sample, large sample it is called. That is about 1,10,000 families, households, large sample. Small sample every year they do on a lot of things, about 10,000, 20,000 households. So 1,10,000 households, you go around and you see, you find out. And then you expand that to cover the whole population. How you select will be, a statistics person will know. And there is no need for us. Of all the things, if we are talking about how to make a sample, we don't know why we are sitting here, for God's sake. Again, the problem of, straying out of the boundary, a village, I told you already, in Punjab, bordering Pakistan. The guy has an extra peg. He goes into Pakistan. Will he return? Here also the same importance to boundary. Boundary. Cross the boundary, they'll make a Kulbhushan Jadhav out of you. Yeah. So this is civil service boundary, barbed wire. And if you cross the line, I told you what would happen. So you pick up the sample, go around, find out, and crunch it and expand it to the whole population. And there used to be this body called the Planning Commission. You would tell the Planning Commission, sir, this many people are below the poverty line. Expand one time to the whole population. Then what would the planning commission do? You know, everyone knows there are lots and lots of poor people in the country, 13 it is, 30%, whatever percent. But I want to know, where are they? I can't take the money in a helicopter and drop it. Most likely the non-poor will grab it, but I have to find out the door numbers. I have to know where they are. I have to go there with my, this book, digital book. I have to go, computer, laptop, and then door number, door number, door number. You go and find out, are you poor? If I can take the help of the multidimensional poverty index, I will come to you. I will ask you about child mortality. I will ask you about what is the floor, what are your other assets, what is the cooking fuel, and how many children are they going to school, and how many years have they spent in school. If you withdraw your daughter from the school and asking her to work at home, then you are poor. And are you kind of all those assets, mechanical assets do you have, etc., sanitation, all these about 10 criteria, their 10 criteria carrying equal weight, they will check out. With the example of the multi-poverty index, MPI, I've told you what the enumerators do. And then they'll find out about who is poor. I know the addresses of the poor people, and I will have them have access to benefits like PDS and stuff. I'll entitle. Food Security Act tells you, even if you are not poor, you are eligible. In the rural areas, 75% or more are entitled to concessional grain supply via the PDS under the Food Security Act 2013. Urban area also, it's not confined to the poor. Non-poor also. Almost as universal as it gets. So, now you got the door numbers. So, initially you agreed on a definition, later you estimated, then you found out the actual addresses of the poor, and finally under your anti-poverty programs. Remember, some programs are meant for all. Take Saubhagya. Free electricity for all. They'll come to your house and install that, thing on your wall. So, after that, maybe you have to pay 30 bucks, 40 bucks, whatever. That APL have to pay, BPL don't have to. But inserting that, attaching that, the switchboard up to there, it is the statutory obligation of the government under the Saubhagya. Ujjwala is only for the poor people. Saubhagya is for all. Ayushman Bharat is, it covers only sort of 500 million people. Therefore, you go bottom up in Ayushman beneficiary. Tomorrow it becomes universal. Then surely, even 500 million, there are 500 million people in the country who are poor. Therefore, Ayushman is also for the poor and the non-poor. Yes? So, it's not that the welfare schemes are confined only to the poor people. That's up to you. And so many schemes are not just for the poor. So now you have this 4-step process of definition, estimation, identification and rectification. But is that all that you are doing to rectify poverty? No. You are doing more. What are you doing? Remember one thing, by these SOPs you cannot eradicate poverty. Redistribution cannot eradicate poverty, though it can go a long way. You have to drive growth. Growth is the fundamental prerequisite for eradication of poverty. Go back to the last decade. Growth was such that the finance minister at that point of time could tell you, in a single generation I'll wipe out poverty. Because the government's tax collections were galloping because of growth on ground. And thus, the government launched so many, even this government is wedded to welfare. This government is more welfare oriented than the earlier government. Anyone will tell you that. And this government is far more ambitious. Ayushman is 500 million people. When did you have a scheme for 500 million people earlier? And all that stove, stove, the red stove in your kitchen, it helps you. Smoke is not there. Health improves. Don't cut trees, environmentally compatible. Health I already told you. And then maybe the speed also is more. That's okay. Apart from that, there is aspirational aspect to I'm a child, my mother is cooking, the chula, etc. My sense of dignity and self-esteem are not high. I have this stove and then the red thing right under that or next to that. My mother is cooking on that stove with LPG. Then I feel damn good. I'm one with the better part, quote unquote, the better part of the world. So, why couldn't you do it before this government came? You please tell me. Simple thing. Our own oil marketing companies, they are all our people. Hindustan, Bharat, IOC, these are the people. Tell them, give the stuff free and on the cylinder, give subsidy. Why couldn't you do it? So, all these schemes you could do. So, one is growth. Growth itself. Growth is an employer. Growth is a skiller. Growth is an educator. All growth improves your health. So growth is associated with so much of uplifting. Point number one. Point number two is the growth per se can only go that far. And before I go there, I have to insert another point, which is rapid rate of growth is important. Growth is growth even if you are growing at 1%. That's also growth. And rapid growth in a population of 1.3 billion people, if you're banking on growth at any rate, then you won't go far. Rapid growth, 8, 9, 10 is required. Point number three, even then growth per se cannot take care of the entire challenge of poverty elimination. You still require employment intensive growth. You see, agriculture is there, neither is it growing, nor can it be. Already there is what you call disguised unemployment in agriculture. That means a lot of people are working without any need for them. If they are dispensed with in agriculture, there is no effect whatsoever on production. We will still be having 290 million tons of rice, wheat, pulses and all that. Why are they still working in agriculture? If they are redundant, they are working because they have nowhere to go. Where will you go? Is a steel factory looking for you? Is a software factory, the firm looking for you? No. Is there a grocery shop at least looking for you? No. So you are stuck there as disguised unemployed. I want agriculture to grow at your target as the 4%. Grow at least at 4%, point number one. Link it up with food processing, number two. Boost the prosperity, number three. And also some marketing arrangements and all that, they are very vital, number five. And after that, ensure rural prosperity, non-farm jobs. Non-farm jobs, think about it. Not about double taxation and all that. Non-farm jobs. Your prelim will be through, main review will be through, and then you will create non-farm jobs. So think of this area, non-farm, the Dalwai Committee, non-farm jobs. So if you do all this, then employment intensive. MSME guys, micro, small, medium, they are the heart and soul of India's economy. They are equity driven, decentralized, less of capital required, and then it will also help you realize you are 39 B and C, dispersal of wealth, goal. So MSMEs the other day, the Honorable Minister on the floor of the Parliament also said how much they contribute to GDP, how much they contribute to exports. If you do all this, then you are having a employment intensive growth. That is very, very crucial. Very crucial. And on top of that, you could always do stuff like, Kisan and all that. This government, right on the day they took over, they unleashed a program called Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan. Immediately there is no benefit. All of us are unorganized workers, rickshaw pullers, cart pushers, domestic workers, etc., etc. And 18 to 40 and all that. We contribute X amount and that brings up to our coffers from where we'll be paid our pension. I'm 18. I'm playing for pension when I'm 60. The scheme is pretty good social security wise. But what am I getting right away? So, while it is a confidence booster, gives you a sense of security, I don't have to worry about when I'm 60, all that is okay, but another scheme I can tell you, that will give you solid money to spend, Kisan Samman, 6,000 rupees. Yeah? So you could do direct benefit transfers so that, there is poverty alleviation, etc., etc. This is a multi-pronged strategy, but remember one. Poverty alleviation. You need to know that it is not always economic investment that will alleviate and eradicate poverty. Social. I have 100 rupees. If I spend 100 well, I can boost poverty eradication. If I want to spend only on the economic means for poverty eradication, I may require 500 rupees. I have to build, roads, a lot of things I have to do. You know what I'm saying? I have 100 rupees. Create a dam. With that you irrigate. And with that you boost the incomes of the farmers. This is X strategy. Same money, spend it on literacy and skills. The dam will take a damn 30 years to complete. Only the rich farmers are likely to benefit. And there will be so many problems downstream. But the literacy program, today I'm illiterate, tomorrow I'm skilled. At 8th standard I'm ready to be skilled. 8th standard. I'll do my 9, 10 with maths and physics also. And also I'll pick up a little bit of skill. By the time I'm 10, I will go into deciding where I'll go ahead. 11 and 12 I'll hang around and some more skill. And if I could go ahead with higher education, that's okay. Otherwise, at 17, 18 I'm ready to enter the job market. There is no problem at all. So what you spend on literacy and skills is a multiplier. I will myself create jobs. When will, between the two, relatively educate a woman. If you have educated a woman, you have not educated a single person. You have educated a family. Her children will go to school because she knows she is the earthly person. And God knows what planet he belongs to. Yeah, she belongs to this Mother Earth. She has lived her life experientially, not like a zombie. Her children, their future, she will take them personally for vaccination. She'll put them in school. She is not an electronics engineer. She may even teach them computers when they come back because she will learn and teach them. Yes? Vaccination, IMR. Think of anything else and that is done. Educate a woman. So, poverty, as they say, is not always a monetary phenomenon, economic phenomenon. It is a social phenomenon. That is, you can choose how you spend your money. And thereby lies a multiplier. And that is how you can rationalize and prioritize the budgetary expenditure for faster eradication of poverty by targeting the right groups. Self-help group. Give them a little money. Each one of these women, if you properly motivate them, Ilabat and all that, they will save the money. Not drink like a man. Save the money. Thrift. Save the money. Pool the money. Become an entrepreneur. Learn marketing. And impact the children with all these skills and initiatives. And the value you are adding is about 10x or 50x. And you are not spending it. You are using an NGO to bring together 24 women. And takeaways are too many there. So, that is what your Ajivika is about. Your Deen Dayal Gramin, that eradication of poverty started out as IRPP. I told you then Swarna Jayanti became, now it is Ajivika Deen Dayal Rural Livelihoods Mission, SHG. So it's not how much you are spending, economics. It is how you are spending. That's also economics, inclusive economics. Target women. Target the social sector and watch the magic as it multiplies in terms of poverty eradication, empowerment, etc., etc. So what did I tell you so far? I told you the definition the approach to eradication of poverty and what causes poverty. Let's get the causes of poverty. In India, I can guarantee you for the next 200 years, the first cause for anything wrong is colonialism. Colonialism. Yeah. Britishers plundered us. So pass the buck to the Britishers. The other day the External Affairs Minister says Britishers took away $25 trillion worth of goods and services and so on, and they have to give it back. It's become a national pastime. Yeah, reparations. What about the good values they gave you? The intangibles. Yes, they built development, administration. They gave you railways. Don't look at the motive. Please, always. Why do you look at the motive? Railways they gave you, parliamentary democracy they gave you, rule of law they gave you. They integrated the country and made you into a nation state. Yeah, it's not that they are useless. It's not that they are wild all the time. So that's okay, but I'm doing the ritual. Cause number one for poverty in the country is the colonial exploitation. Point number one. What else remains to account for poverty and its cause? Having been colonized, your state capacity was limited to alleviate poverty. You see, you had the IAS, IPS, etc. 1.5 million. Did you empower Panchayat Saraj, Nagarapalika? Who are the other officials? Did you give them the value of community development? Nothing. So your state capacity was limited. Point number two. State capacity means capacity of the government to deliver, be effective, give results. And that depends, as I already told you, on institutions, administration, laws, and the familiarity of the people with all this, etc. From the side of the government, from the side of the people to receive the benefit also. All that would be extended state capacity. And then the growth was paltry. What is the rate of growth of your economy in the first 3 decades? 2.5 to 3. At that rate of growth of economy, neither can you alleviate poverty, nor can you create jobs, nor can you have a government with adequate fiscal resources to spend on welfare. So the rate of growth was very low for coming up to expectations of eradication of poverty. You didn't have growth. I don't want to use words like Hindu hate and all that, because people may take offense. And so let's not use it. That's the rate of growth. And the fourth one I must tell you is, in India, health and education were neglected from the inception. If only you spent a lot of money and effort on kids going to school and college, and then keeping them healthy with your primary health centers, community health centers and so on, you would have had a solid HRD foundation, and that would have powered up the country, and there you missed out. Point number 4. Point number 5 is, will be, at this point though I've already made. Point number 5 will be, your anti-poverty schemes. You Came late, number one. Did not deliver too well, number two. Nareka is wonderful. No one should criticize Nareka. But what is the bang for buck? You're spending 60,000 crores or so on Nareka. I don't think it's going to the right person, going fully and all that. So, whatever the scheme, the productivity level of the scheme is at best 50%. There are so many leakages, so much of money unspent. That is point number 5. Point number 6, you have a question? Yeah. Point number 6 is, you should have made the Indian economy competitive long time back, should have globalized, should have discovered the entire world as a large market and depended on an export-driven economy that would have taken care of domestic consumption as well as all other benefits associated with globalization. You did not do that. And you broke the cycle when you could not transit from agriculture to manufacturing. There is manufacturing in the country. You were afraid to acquire the land. You know that Bhakra, Nangal, displaced people are still going around for compensation. Bhakra, Nangal, Hirakud, you told them, give me land, I'll build a dam, it will boost your agriculture, there will be rural prosperity, and you won't be in India, you will all be in Switzerland, and then you hoodwinked them, took land, never gave them what you promised, and that set off a sentiment against land acquisition. Ever since, you have not been able to make it in manufacturing because land is scarce, number one. The experience of the people who gave their land is so bitter that others were not willing to give land even for development projects, number two. And therefore, you could never transit to manufacturing, which is employment intensive. Yes. Why couldn't you create lots and lots of jobs in rural areas? As I told you, you boosted agricultural production. Today it's standing around 300 million tons or so record production. I'm not impressed though. But then you have neglected the other side of it, which is marketing. I'm producing tomato, potato, I'm not a rich farmer, I have hired cold storage, I kept it there, in the process the prices have fallen, I can't pay to the cold storage guy. I'm getting $1 for potatoes a kg, it costs me 5 to 6 to produce that. What have you done for marketing? Precious little. Procurement price, FCI, that takes care of only the rich people. You are telling the small and the marginal farmer produce high quality, crops, that is your millets, fruits, vegetables. Where is the storage facility? Have you created? Where is the marketing facility? Have you created? So you are not giving me a channel for selling, but you are telling me to produce, and that is where a lot of farming income is destroyed, and that is why the terms of trade are turning against agriculture. Thereby lies another reason why there is rampant rural poverty. All this I could list as causes for poverty. And then I've already told you the strategy of the government to alleviate poverty. I've already told you the poverty alleviation strategy: growth, fast-paced growth, inclusive growth, and as the 12th five-year plan told you, sustainable growth, environmentally friendly, because if the environment is not friendly, if Ganga is polluted, you have to, your health is not there, polluted water you have to drink, and so on and so forth. One of the reasons for poverty, there is a usually reinforcing equation between poverty and environmental degradation. You're poor, you cut the tree. You're not poor, you have LPG. So, you are poor and you drink all Ganga is polluted. And you're poor, you drink that water, your health goes down. So multiple links you can build between poverty and environment. Women walk 5 kilometers for a twig that they can use as firewood for cooking and so on and so forth. Why? You are poor, you're cutting the tree. You are poor, you want, you have no access to fuel. So, and also poor, lack of literacy. Remember one thing. Poverty, if economics, the word economics, if you are a student of philosophy, you will see so much of depth in this word economics. You know, at a very ultimate level, what is economics? Utilization of the resources sustainably. All resources. Your body, your mind, social, whatever, human, technological, financial, material, all. Sustainable use of resources is economics. How to go about using resources sustainably. And there's no scarcity. And that scarcity proposition, a lot of people don't agree. How much of your brain are you using? What percent? 99% you are not using and you are saying these resources are scarce. Verify. You are not using anything and you are saying resources are scarce. Apple phone, each one of us uses 5% of what it can be used for. Resources are scarce. So we are not using resources sustainably. That's another thing. Cognitive. I'm poor. I'm not healthy. Am I using my resources? My cognition, that is, my mental resources are drained out. My brain is not used well. I'm so anxious and insecure that I can't use my mind well. Somebody relieved me of all responsibilities. I can take a damn good class. Somebody relieved her of all responsibilities and she will charge up and become a topper. If she is running around for little things, can she study? Poverty does not allow you to use your mental resources, physical resources. I fall sick. I'm not productive. I can't understand. I don't have a good teacher. And so poverty drains out your mental and physical resources. Your relationships also run into rough weather. Your social behavior, God forbid, could also, be such that you are vulnerable. That is why poverty, if you thought, was merely not having certain levels of consumption. That's all there is to the story. You don't know the depth of what the poverty can do to you. That is poverty. And then the other day, one question came in your exam. Some circles are more vicious. This is Rangarajan's statement. There's a lovely elementary book Rangarajan and Dwalakia wrote about this macroeconomics. It's not in circulation because both of them are busy and they are not updating it. That was written in the 70s or 80s. Superb. Whatever Rangarajan does for general students, superb. In that he makes the statement that poverty is a vicious cycle and some cycles are more vicious than others. I'm poor. I'm no serious problem. I belong to upper caste. I'm a man and all that. Imagine I'm a woman, doubly vicious. I told you the other day. Rural, resourceless, all that. So some cycles are more vicious than others. So when I say cognitive, isn't the cognitive drain worse when you are socially also excluded? I'm not socially excluded. Imagine I'm socially excluded. Yes? So think of the social dimensions of poverty, the exclusion, the marginalization, the humiliation, the exploitation, you name it. So poverty has more dimensions than we are ready to accept. World Bank report talks about. So that is poverty as a cognitive tax. And now there are other aspects to poverty. Let me see. Income poverty, of course, extreme poverty, relative poverty line we know, Rangarajan we know, SBCC, I'm coming there. World Bank, poverty, definition, committees, Saxena and others, Hashing, eradication. See, Niti Aayog. Remember now, earlier there I told you Planning Commission, NSSO, Planning Commission set up a committee The committee will give you a definition, NSSO will go around collecting data, and then you will estimate and all that. Today we don't see emphasis so much on. There are two ways about it. Why talk of poverty when you did not do anything about poverty? We are doing something about poverty. Why talk of poverty? Let's do it. Earlier you were busy setting up committees. Now we are busy eradicating. How far it's acceptable, I don't know. The NSO survey, the National Statistical Office, NSO, that was between 11, 12 and 17, 18. The poverty in India in urban areas it fell by 5 points. Rural areas it rose by 4 points. Urban areas you have 9% of the urban people poor. Rural area 30% who are poor. Averaged out it is about say 26, 27 or whatever. That is the number of people, the percent of people in the country that is poor. According to this NSO consumption survey, I would love to read the report, but it's been withdrawn by the government because of issues related to quality of data. We have to take it on the face value. Yes, though some newspapers got hold of it, Mint and Business Standard are analyzing also because as media they have the responsibility to educate the people and so on and so forth. Now see, SECC, that is socio-economic caste census. In India there is another thing called caste. Gender is bad enough. With caste also we have. And as you know, understanding and addressing poverty is a little more challenging in India. Which is, in 2011, see, we have given reservation, let's say, to X castes, X batch of castes. But then all the castes, the social classes, the social groups, in that caste, in that group, they are not equally deprived. Some are more, some are just about deprived, some are very deeply deprived, most backward, more backward. How will you know all this? Unless you know, you cannot target. So till then we had this, we were shy of canvassing for data based on caste. But then India is caste, sitting in the agenda that you can't have illusions that we are cosmopolitan, we respect each other, preamble of values. I don't know, it's okay. In your life, it's all preamble. In my life, it's all preamble. But we are a nanoscopic minority in the country. We are we are utter minority in the country. The country is plagued with caste, this, that. So the government built the budget. What did the government do? Government said that we will collect the data about the economic status. Social means all your gender, etc. Socio-economic caste. Social means caste, but they wanted to stress it since 1931. We haven't got data on caste and we better have the data. Otherwise, who do you target at? You need empirical basis for targeting your schemes. And therefore people went around in the states, rural areas, the states did it, urban area, you collected the data on the basis of surveys by Urban Development Ministry. Those days it used to be called HOPA, housing and urban poverty alleviation. And for caste, you did it by the Registrar General, the Census Commissioner, operating under MHA. 3 of them went round, Ministry of Rural Development here, and the Ministry of Rural Development did it for rural area, urban area. Caste is your Census Commissioner, Registrar General. So you pulled a lot of data, wealth of data, because policy has to be based on data, otherwise you are in the air. So now, Ujjwala SECC data. Saubhagya doesn't require all that because it's universal. And wherever else you have a program targeting at the poor people, you combine caste with it, and as you sharpen your targeting of the social groups meant for alleviation, empowerment, etc. that is SECC, socio. And then you got on the United Nations side, you got all this, initially you had the Millennium Development Goals, and then today you got, those were 8, and from 15 you got the SDGs, that is your Sustainable Development Goals. MDGs did not talk of wiping out poverty. They only confined themselves to extreme poverty and hunger you have to wipe out. Now you've got the SDGs which are far more ambitious. They want to even build peace in a country because go to Jharkhand. Can you eradicate poverty in Jharkhand? You can, but there is some problem going on. Left-wing extremists are there. They are not allowing you to go to the poor people at all. And so you have law and order and other structural issues. Peace is crucial for poverty eradication. Otherwise, the cost multiplication and the human challenge are very high. So SDGs talk about peace building also, peace building as necessary for sustainable development. And they talk of women, children, all that. So it's a far more inclusive and comprehensive approach to the eradication of poverty. And every country who is a signatory to the SDGs will have to present an annual report called the VNR, Voluntary National Review. We presented, I haven't seen any report this year, I haven't seen any report last year also. 2018 might have seen, given the notes. 19, there is no literature at all. Those days, the Niti Aayog chairperson, that is the vice chairperson, not the prime minister, vice chairperson would go abroad to the UN and tell them, see, we are doing Saubhagya, Ujjwala, Ayushman, this, that, and that is how all these goals of SDG we are able to get nearer and nearer to achievement and so on. So yes, there is a voluntary national review as well. And MDG, SDG have given a detailed comparative table. There is no table. Should have been a table, but very clearly laid out points. Now, this question about universal basic income. We have to take it very, very seriously. It's not a joke at all. Some people are campaigning for it as if it is a panacea. We have to go very, very cautiously because you are treading on the dreams of the poor people. See, you and I are okay. We have already shown our escape velocity. We have escaped from the, standard Indian way of life, which is poverty or close to poverty. We have somehow escaped. We got escape velocity. A lot of people are still steeped in poverty, extreme poverty. In fact, the definition of the poverty that we entertain is extreme poverty. $1.9, Y, PPP, and so where are you? 47. That is extreme poverty. Extreme poverty. And in fact, the Dr. Manmohan Singh said, we deploy a minimalist definition of poverty. This is a minimalist. Can you get less than this? No. The very alive, the guys who are called non-poor are, poor are very alive. So, there is this discussion about universal basic income, UBI. And a huge campaign for it in the economic survey. And some of the assumptions were wrong. See, UBI, let me at least write the title. The understanding of the UBI, it came from the Western countries post 2008. Basically, what are the worries they are confronting? Where do they come from? Number one, growth is wiped out. So growth is wiped out, there is no demand in the economy, I'll give you some money, go out and spend. So to create a demand in the economy, you need to put money in the pockets of the people. And for that, the UBI UBI is one channel, point number one. Point number two is there is serious worry about the social security, health, consumption, and so on, and because of lack of growth. So this worry about the economy also is addressed by take this money. On the 31st midnight every month, you will get X amount of money for the upcoming month. You spend it unconditional cash transfer. Point number two. Now comes another point. This is all Western stuff and some is in India also, but basically Western. Automation is throwing out people from the workplaces, and people are worried at this rate of machine learning and human displacement. Are we going to be around at all? Or will I be able to marry, have children, and regular human social worries as we are historically conditioned? Automation. Machine, I would love to be a machine in these days of work. Yeah, why am I born human? I want to be a machine. So I need to pacify you, give you a sense of social security and comfort. Take this money, let machines march on. You're not going to be impacted, and we'll tax the corporate profits who are deploying machines for greater productivity, less of trade unions and all that. We will tax them so heavily, and then from there we'll give you money without working. You just spend. Classical communist way of life. Karl Marx. You know what Karl Marx said? Fish in the morning, hunt in the afternoon, and some criticize after dinner. You're not working. Full human leisure. And some of you are working in all the Bell laboratories, IBM, etc. Google, and then you are making machines. And those machines are producing so much of wealth, you don't have to work at all. Government will give you the money, and then you read Shakespeare, Kalidasa. Yeah. So always classic human life. We are not cogs in the machine. We are autonomous people. We can do what we want to. Though of course it's not on the horizon right now. So machines can unshackle you to lead a genuine human life, generally exploring human life. That is the ultimate luxury. Machines are going to enable you to do that. Yeah? So I'll give you money, don't worry, I'll give you money. Machines will produce, you will consume. And for you to consume, I'll extract the money, I will tax a robot. In her company, she threw me out. And she put a robot there, and productivity is higher, profits are higher. Madam, you please pay a tax for a robot. Robot can't. On his behalf, you pay. And then I will get the UBI, Universal Basic Income, and so I live a genuinely human life, all my social, etc. worries are cut out. Now, that is a Western impulse. What about India? India is a little dubious. You know, in India, our welfare schemes are not working well. We are spending a lot of money on that. Our administrative capacity is limited. So much of corruption. Poverty has not been dented at all in spite of tens of lakhs of crores of rupees being spent. Yeah. So somebody thought that we will give you money, universal basic income. No PDS, we'll give you money, eat money. Yeah? 10 rupees, coin. Show it up till you lose your teeth. Yeah? PDS is there, she has an MP shop there. I'm a poor guy. APL or BPL, whatever. I've got a card. I go there. She'll give me gravy. That keeps me away from hunger. Now there is no MP shop. I got the money. Where are the markets in India? How much of India is covered by markets? Number one. Where do you get the quality that you get in the MP shop? Number two. What have you exploited? Number three. What happens to inflation? Will you index it to inflation and give me the money? I think think that will be a bit too illusory on my part to expect you to continuously index it, etc. And she is a lady, I'm a man. The money, I also need some money. All the family money I blow up on my favorite, you know, what is rice and wheat for her, my thing is there, which my day begins there, it goes through that. I live inside a bottle. Yes. So no money for girl children, no money for the lady, only the man. This is a universal, not basic income, bottle income. UBI. Yeah, UBI, UBB. Yeah, bottle. What nonsense. Rather than pulling it out by the bootstraps, rather than pushing your PDS to more geographies, rather than having primary health centers, wellness centers, and whatnot, you are, washing your hands off. There is a post office, and how will you transfer me the money? Where is the bank? Where is the financial inclusion? All this for you to say this idea is ahead of its time. No, this idea has to be buried. Why? Or I can give you another solution for this idea. What's the idea? Every subsidy you are giving, continue to give. Every facility there is, Sarva Shiksha, I'll throw money on your kids. No right to education. No stipulation that there should be a school within a vicinity of 1 kilometer. Nothing. I will throw money on your face. Who will give me midday meal scheme? How will my nutrition be taken care of? No, nothing. Paisa feko. Tamasha dekho. Throw money. Extreme levels of indifference to the, human condition. No? And there are campaigns for it in the survey. Your job is to ensure that more and more skill centers are set up. No, take this 10,000, go to the skill center, run by XYZ, whether the skill center is there or not, we don't know. And so, we pass the buck. So you see the UBI as a strategy for either ban poverty number one, or genuine human poverty being alleviated number two, or social services being delivered number three. For all of them, it's a top up, I love it. Kisan, give him 10,000. Lady, you worried about ladies, women? Give them 5,000 rupees every month you give. Unconditionally, don't tell her. She can tell you. You can't tell her. She knows how to use it. Yes? Give her 5,000. Children, give 500 rupees for their, school requirements. You can top this up in addition to what you already are giving. Don't neglect them. Yes? Don't deplete them. Strengthen them, top it up to create a demand and do it by an act of the parliament, not as a dole. Act of parliament means she wants to invest, but she is waiting for a parliamentary act so that investment can be made, because if it is an ad hoc policy by executive decision, she knows it can be rolled back tomorrow, all her investment will rust. By an act of parliament, number one, as a top up, number two, selectively, number three, if you do this could be a godsend. Otherwise, you are playing around with the most vulnerable people, and you got schooled with Zurich, etc., etc. I told you, why is it talked about here? Fraud. There's a referendum in Switzerland. We wanted to have basic, universal basic income. There is resounding no. You know why? Known devil is better than unknown devil. Today, whatever we are up to something. Tomorrow, we don't know if we'll go on printing money, weaken the currency, there'll be lots of inflation, you'll be helpless. So they thought, it's okay now. Let us not play around with the sector, the systems which are working well. So in Switzerland, in the referendum, they had rejected the UBI. And also one more thing, in my humble view, I could be entirely wrong. Money should be linked to work. You can't, to a lady I have no problem. To a, vulnerable lady, give her unconditional money, I have no problem. But otherwise, if you are throwing around money, then in India we don't have a great work ethic. We love work because we worship out of necessity. Otherwise, we would all like to, bunk work. So if you give me money, then you are creating a very lethargic, socially irresponsible person. And the bottom problem is the real problem, please. The only industry that will thrive is the liquor industry. So with all this, how could you campaign? I have no idea. I just have no idea at all. Instead, if you say, in urban areas, I'll give you food coupons. Go wherever you like, pick up your food. Say she comes home 7:30 in the evening. She can't go to the PDA shop, it's closed. I'll give you a coupon. Go to any private shop. Half a kg you take it, another half a kg you take it. There'll be competition, better quality, flexibility, spread out. I have no problem. About piecemeal, approach to reforming the subsidy system and the savings being better spent either by UBI or by coupons or otherwise, I have no problem. But lock, stock and barrel replacing your, cumulatively built up welfare state with money being thrown on your face, this Aadhaar, A-class system, I have no problem. Where are the digital facilities available? How will you're not thinking of poverty in Delhi, hardly. You're thinking of poverty in Bihar and Jharkhand. Where is digital connectivity? Where are the banks? Nothing is there. So the best approach to eradication of poverty is to strengthen what you already have, number one. And additionally, create demand so on by statutory means through the UBI. Yeah, that's about the UBI, etc. I've done my poverty chapter. The rest is essentially read by you. I don't know the time. Do we have half an hour left? So, we are through. Tomorrow we'll handle inequality. And inequality mode engages for a whole class. After that, I'll go into the external economic, BOP and all. We'll see where we go from